Hey YouTubers, I just wanted to try to make a quick video of my LED light ROPS installation. It took me several hours and it was incredibly hot and humid yesterday. I spent several hours yesterday and then a couple hours as soon as I woke up this morning trying to get it done. And we all know the pain of installing these lights. They just don't make it easy, and it's such a shame. You know, they put a little wire on the back of some of these newer tractors, but they're such low, wattage, and you can't really put anything aftermarket that's decent with those. So I did a night light installation, and I'll post a picture of what I bought. I just wanted to show you, for I think it run me about $55 what I did. So I'm standing in here while I'm talking because all of a sudden the weather changed, it started cooling off and got really windy. But I had to basically install this not really the way I wanted. I had to install it the way it would fit. And so the unit came with the connections for the batteries. They had very large round connections, so I had to fit them between. They wouldn't hold with just the bolts. They were too big. So I stuffed them between the battery terminals here, and you can see how big they are. So I squished them in there. I was fortunate that I had this connection right here, so the name won't come to me at the moment what this is called. I'm sure somebody will post it, but really tired. I'm super tired after working in that heat and humidity yesterday. Anyways, I ran it up here. I'm gonna have to see how hot these will get. If they do, I'll be able to just put, like some styrofoam cover or something there. Hopefully that would keep that from getting damaged. And I had to run it kind of weird because this is the only way I could do it to get everything to fit. So I ran it down to there. I took the side panel off and I ran it underneath. And basically, was connecting it to the lines. And let me crawl under here so you can kind of see how I ran it along. So down to there, and along these other lines, and zip tied it. I'm not completely done yet. I'm gonna have to heat shrink my connections and cut those zip ties. But ran it along down under there. So just one more quick picture so you can see that. So it actually come out pretty decent, kind of clean. And then I took this off. It involved, once this panel's off, you'll see, I think it's a 1/4-inch screw in here, one on the other side. And then what a lot of people don't know is that there's a screw there under the dash. You gotta take this off. And then this will just pop loose. Some people will go farther, remove the steering wheel so they can get the whole thing off. I didn't need to do that. I drilled, for this switch, I think it was a 3/4 inch. So I drilled through here. I had to look inside, figure out where to put it, because there's actually a lot of stuff on the inside here that if I would have drilled in the wrong spot, this switch would have hit it. So there's like the metal here, the display unit is inside here. There's a little bit of a hollow spot there. So I think it was like 2.5 inches across and 3 inches down, or vice versa. But that's where I ended up putting the switch. I did want it back here. The switch wasn't long enough. This is actually almost as far as it would go. I hardly had any wire left. So then again, I ran it under the tractor, and then I brought it up along through here. Had these frame brackets here. I ran it up through there, and so it was unbelievable, just enough wire to get this light. And then I had to buy an extra wiring kit. I'll show you that real quick. So I bought that extra kit anticipating I was not going to have enough wire, and I was exactly right. So I had to take that wire, run it across the back here under the toolkit for the ROPS backlight over there. And then I did have extra wire. If I had the time, I would cut that and splice it and, you know, all that good stuff to make it less messy there. But I did not. I already spent hours and hours in that heat and humidity. I was dying. So that's all I'm doing right now. So these are the two backlights. And I'll turn those on in a few minutes and show you. And then for the top light that I have aiming forward, I ran the wire through the ROP. I could not get the wire to feed through that hole and down the ROPS. I tried and tried and tried. I probably spent almost an hour. It just would not feed. I even tried to guide it with a wire. Unfortunately, for me, I completely forgot I had a fishing tape in the basement that might have worked, but I ended up having to bring out the wire. Let's see if I can see it here. Got the sky. It's right there, so it comes out there. So it doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's kind of somewhat clean. The brackets I already had. You know, for those of you that shop for ROPS brackets, they're hard to find. You can see these are a little bit too wide, but that's okay. They're good for now. And so anyways, I brought that down the ROPS all the way, brought it out the bottom of the ROPS. Get to that. I can't see, I'm sideways, sorry. Anyways, I brought it out the bottom of the ROPS, and then I fed it up through, over through there to the power. Okay, so just want to show you guys, you know, for about $55, you can get some very bright. I've used these lights for several of my vehicles. I have them on my zero turn. I had them on a four-wheeler. I had them on my other Kubota BX2350, and they are very bright. I forgot to take the plastic off. And they're actually kind of durable. It's not a kind of light that you can have. If you have your tractor parked outside 24/7, they're not going to tolerate that. I found that out the hard way when my son borrowed my tractor for a landscaping project last year, and it sat outside for a few months in the heavy rain. A couple of things I ended up having to replace on them, but I just thought that would help, guys. You know, there's nothing out there that shows us how to install these lights, and it's, you know, it's not a fun job. So any questions, you know, let me know, and hopefully I can help out. But I just wanted to show you what I did. I mean, obviously I'm not saying that this is the best way, but it's what I did that worked for me and with everything that I had. Okay, just wanted to show the difference between the stock lights and the lights that I just installed. I couldn't wait till complete darkness because I've got to wake up about 3:30 in the morning. I'm not staying up late just to film this, but figured I'd bring it in the woods and let you see the difference. It's odd, those standard lights got a circle hole in the middle there. First time I've actually used them. I just bought this tractor. All right, and then what it looks like in the rear. So yep, that will definitely help out. Mowing at night, plowing snow in the winter. Okay everybody, I'm signing out. I hope this helps. Have a good week.